Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
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 At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well-researched, specialized, and analytical content.
Our vision at ConsumerHallaTV is to create an engaging platform that provides right connections for meaningful brands in Nigeria. Thus, create
ConsumerHallaTV, our Instagram page ConsumerHallaTV, and do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Subscription is free. ConsumerHallaTV. At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
At ConsumerHallaTV, you deserve to be heard.
Good morning and thank you so much for joining us on ConsumerHallaTV News this hour. I am Iri Ayomikole Ike. Straight up to the headlines. Over 90% of Nigerians seen exempted from pay tax from 2026. Nigeria plans the minimum price guarantee for farmers to curb food inflation. Nigeria's petrol import dropped to 8-year low in September. We'll begin the news with the chairman of Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee, Mr. Taiwo Yedele. They said that at least 9 out of every 10 Nigerians will no longer have to pay the pay-as-you-earn tax. He also added that Nigerians will start enjoying benefit of new tax law beginning from January 2026. Mr. Oyedele, who spoke this at the ongoing Nigerian Economic Summit in Abuja yesterday, said that about 98% of the Nigeria's population will no longer pay the pay-as-you-earn tax, where he emphasized that the new tax law targeted as protecting the low-income earners or those at the poverty line. The federal government said it would soon introduce a guaranteed minimum price for agricultural produce for farmers and undertake a large-scale offtake of farm harvest. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, announced this yesterday at the breakout session on catalyzing agricultural transformation, capital, innovation and growth at the ongoing Nigeria Economic Summit, where he said the measure aimed to protect farmers and consumer-aimed price volatility. The minister explained that the most followed lessons from last year's food price volatility and hoarding by commodity dealers, which worsened inflation and triggered widespread hunger protests in August. Also, Mr. Kyari said this was a massive hoarding aspect. There was a farmer who said he would not sell his maize until price gets to 150,000 naira, but today is begging to sell at 30,000 naira. The minister also cited last year's paddy rice market as an example when farmers sold at 350,000 naira per ton while market prices climbed to 800,000 naira, highlighting inefficiencies between production costs and retail prices. However, the minister also said there was clearly a dislocation somewhere. Meanwhile, the federal government is in advanced talks with China's Export-Import Bank for a $2 billion loan to build a new electricity supergrid designed to tackle Nigeria's long-standing power supply challenges. According to Bloomberg, the proposed grid project aims to strengthen power transmission across the eastern and western regions of the country, where most industrial consumers are based. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabo, disclosed the plan at the Economic Summit in Abuja on Monday, saying the project was part of its effort to decentralize power generation and encourage heavy energy users who left the national grid due to its unreliability to reconnect. According to Bloomberg, the minister's team confirmed that negotiations with China's Exim Bank were progressing, while the financing for the supergrid had already received cabinet approval. Nigeria's electricity generation capacity is about 13 gigawatts, but only a third of it reaches consumer through the central grid, which frequently experiences system collapse. A story related to the just concluded report talking electricity is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved a 4 trillion naira bond to clear verified debt owed to power generation companies and gas suppliers as part of its effort to stabilize Nigeria's electricity market and restore confidence in the sector. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabo, made a disclosure in Abuja at the Experts Forum on Uninterrupted Power, the industrial imperative organized by the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, where he outlined ongoing reforms under the federal government's renewed hope agenda to make the power sector sustainable and commercially viable. The minister said the bond approval forms part of a broader financial stabilization plan designed to address a legacy liabilities that have hindered investment and liquidity across the electricity value chain. The minister in his words said, and I quote, To stabilize the markets, Mr. President has approved a 4 trillion naira bond to clear the verified Genco and gas supply debt. Alongside this, a targeted subsidy framework is being developed to protect vulnerable households and ensure a sustainable path towards full commercialization and a viable industry. End of quote. Moving on the news, in a report on Monday, Hagos cited K-Player data by dating back to 2017, where he said Nigeria received about 116,000 barrels per day of seaborne petrol in September, down from 154,000 barrels per day in August. Hagos said net petrol imports fell to a new low of 38,000 billion barrels per day in September, following notable cargo loadings from the Dangote refinery bound for New York Harbor. Meanwhile, this report said despite the Dangote refinery conducted its maintenance on its petrol-producing residue fluid catalytic cracking unit, it still experienced some recent industrial action, and it also received some limited crude supplies. However, Hagos said net petrol imports fell to a new low of 38,000 barrels per day in September, following notable cargo loadings from the Dangote refinery bound for New York in Harbor. Away from that, on education now, as the Vice Chancellor of Rivers State University, Prof. Isaac Zeb Obipi, has encouraged newly retired staff of the institution to embrace productive ventures such as farming, book writing, and community service as they transition into post-service life. Prof. Zeb Obipi gave the advice on Monday while speaking at the university's first annual retirees retirees sent forth held in Port Harcourt. He explained that the retirement should not be viewed as the end of productivity, but as an opportunity to pursue new passions and continue contributing to society. Still on the newsline, Prof. BP said retirement is not a death sentence, but an opportunity to choose other professions to enhance one's agility. They can take roles in the church, or student associations, going to farming, book writing, or volunteering. By doing so, they will continue to be active and, of course, continue to make contributions to society. Report says a total of 74 staff members were honored at the ceremony, comprising 11 teaching staff, 51 senior non-teaching staff, and 12 junior non-teaching staff. Prof. Obipi, however, expressed the university desire to re-engage strong and elder retirees on contract terms, pending on the government approval. On another development, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has reported that the Nigerian Railway Corporation generated 1.95 billion from transporting 553 passengers through the rail system in the first quarter of 2025. The figures disclosed in the rail transportation data in the first quarter of 2025, published by the National Bureau of Statistics on the 5th of October and announced via its X handle yesterday. The report indicates a significant boost in NRS passenger and revenue figures for the fourth quarter of 2025. The report reads, and I quote, "In the first quarter of 2025, a total of 929,553 passengers traveled through the rail system relative to 675,293 reported in the corresponding quarter of 2024, which indicates a growth rate of 37.65%. The volume of cargoes transported stood at 181,520 tons compared to 160,650 tons recorded in the first quarter of 2024. Now let's bring you this report that Nigeria will play host to the Africa Agricultural Dialogue 2025 in Abuja on October 7 and 8, 2025, as the federal government intensifies its effort to boost sector encountering across the continent. The high-level continental event themed on unlocking finance for agricultural transformation in Africa will take place at the State House Banquet Hall and is expected to draw a wide range of participants, including senior government officials, agribusiness leaders, financial institutions, development partners, farmers, and innovators. The dialogue precedes the annual World Food Prize ceremony in the United States and is designed to provide Africa with a unified platform to articulate its agricultural, financing, and investment priorities ahead of the global event. While speaking during a recent virtual press briefing, the senior special assistant to the president on livestock development, Idris Ajimobi, said, alongside with the special advisor to the Minister of Livestock Development, Richard Mark, explained that Nigeria is hosting the event to not only grow the nation's agricultural sector, but to drive the transformation in Africa. And now we've come to the end of the news, but before we go this morning, a recap of the major headlines. On the first take this morning, we told you that over 90% of Nigerians seen exempted from pay e-tax from 2026. On the other hand, we told you Nigeria's plans minimum price guarantee for farmers to curb food inflation. And that is about agriculture there. We also told you this morning that Nigeria's petrol import dropped to 8-year low in September. We end the news now, but remember you can watch us on our broadcast and today broadcast on ConsumerHallaTV on our YouTube channel, and do well to subscribe there and follow us on all our social media platforms: TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and X, ConsumerHallaTV. Thank you so much for watching and joining us on the news at is this morning. I am Ire Ayomikunle, aka Top of the Morning to you.
Nigeria, happy Independence Day to you. As today Nigeria marks 65 years, we are reminded of how strong we Nigerians are, and our unity is one of our biggest strengths. And as we become so united, we begin to